everybody, my name's Mary, and I am here with Griff, who's right behind the camera.
Bum, ba, bum.
And joining us today for the first time is Erica.
Hello.
She's actually getting ready for a demo we're going to do in just a few minutes, so keep going, Erica. Anyway, we are nature guides or interpreters here at Humboldt Redwood State Park, and we're going to talk today about some of the really neat animals. Well, this is part of a multi-part series on tracks talking about the really great animals that are here at the park, and most of them actually are nocturnal. That means active during the night, and so we don't get a chance to see them. Actually, the one we're talking about today, and a lot of them are crepuscular. Does anyone know what that word means? Crepuscular?
Crepuscular.
Makes me think of corpuscles, right? Your blood? But no, it actually means active at dusk and dawn. So the animal we're talking about today is crepuscular. But before we jump into that, just a few words about COVID-19. And I just want to say that little by little, our parks are opening up more and more, and to get the latest information, because all parks will be different depending on where they are and what sort of facilities they have, you need to check out the state park website at parks.ca.gov and look for the specific park. And I'm happy to say Humboldt Redwood State Park is opening up, and so we're happy to see more and more people come out here. But remember, if we're gonna keep the parks open and I'm gonna keep my job, please use the 6-foot social distancing, and if you have to get close to someone, like in a parking lot or something you just can't avoid, we've got those trusty masks, right? All right, fantastic. So let's jump right into it. So those
Awesome.
of you who watched last week's, I don't know if any of you were out there, I gave a little hint to this week's animal. Do you remember? It was, we're going big. So that probably meant, that was probably too big a hint, because I think pretty much everyone's thinking bear, right? If we're in North America anyway. If you're, especially if you're in California, you might think bear or maybe mountain lion, but we're doing bear. So we're going to do the American black bear. So that's Ursus americanus californiensis, if you want the California one. So take a close-up of that. Now, is that the California black bear, you ask, that we have on all our patches? So some of you know, no, it's not. Actually, that's the grizzly bear. So what were we saying the Latin was, Griff, for grizzly bear?
Ursus horribilis.
Yeah, I think that's it, horribilis. Anyway, the last one in California, we managed to, unfortunately, exterminate in 1922, and then we made it our state land mammal in 1953. Anyway, can anyone think, well, I was looking all of this up to tell you, I happened upon, there's actually a state in the United States that has the American black bear as its state mammal. Does anyone know what that is?
Let me see.
Anyone?
We got lots of people saying hello, including Darlene and Derek and Bud and Sandra and Michelle and Shanna and Bud. And he does, and no one, and Bud Elkin says nope, doesn't know.
All right. Well, let's everyone give a shout out to the great state of Alabama.
Alabama? Alabama.
Thanks, Erica.
One more time, Alabama.
All right. So yeah, good for you, Alabama. That's their state land mammal, and that's about as much as I know about Alabama.
Cool.
Anyway, so let's get back into the ways you could tell them apart. Actually, the grizzly bear has a hump, you could see, and much larger, and has a more dished face. And so let me show you our California black bear. Now, I say black bear, and I picked this photo specifically because people think they see bears that are cinnamon or tan or brown, which most of them are in the West, and they're like, how could that be a black bear? That was actually me a few years ago. How could that be a black bear? But they're definitely black bears, but they have multi-color forms, and they could be cinnamon, even blonde. They even go blonde. And a black mother can have a cinnamon and a black cubs. She has 2 cubs, so that's the California black bear.
The black bear I saw 2 days ago was brown.
Brown, like a dark brown? Or
Yeah, like a teddy bear brown. It looked like teddy bears. Jim Mathias says teddy.
Well, if we had all the time, I could tell you where Teddy. Does anyone know where teddy bears, right?
Came from? Oh,
Anyone
interesting.
Historian here?
Oh, I do know. I think I know, but I don't want to say.
Should we say, or should
Well,
we
let's
just
give
leave
it. Let's go on, and I'll tell you if it
Okay.
pops up.
Maybe in the end or something.
Yeah,
if someone
yeah.
says something. All right. So remember, we were talking about tracks and things they leave behind, because a lot of these animals, like I say, are nocturnal and you don't see them, but they leave tracks behind. And unfortunately, places where we would find a tract here, we don't get good reception. So we kind of have to fudge some of this. So I brought this along so you could see. This is a cast that I made. And you can see that there are 5 toes. So the last 2 we did, they had 4 toes. So this is a front foot. And I actually tried to make an impression out of it earlier. But basically, you know, if you see a black bear track, you can pretty much tell what it is just from the size. Like the back foot is going to be, there we go. Thank you, Kim Cabrera. We'll be giving you information about her website. Most of my pictures come from her. That's a track she found, and that is actually a black bear's back foot. It was killed by a car that she found, and so it lives on for educational purposes, I guess.
Was that its last footprint?
No, not the same bear.
Okay.
Not the same bear. So that's the back foot. So we're going to talk about something really cool about the back foot in just a second. I'm going to put that down and show you briefly the front foot. So you can see they both have 5 toes on the front and the back, unlike like the fox and the bobcat we did the last couple of weeks had 4 toes showing anyway. Everyone see that? Okay, well, let's move on because we got to get to that demo. Now, something that black bears share with us is a form of locomotion that's called, if I get this right, plantigrade. Plantigrade. So think of planting your heel in the ground, rolling along all of your sole of your foot, and pushing off with your toes. So that's plantigrade motion. So actually, why don't we just have Erica? Griff wasn't up for taking off his shoes for whatever reason.
Since the whole COVID thing, I haven't got a pedicure in a long time. Is that how you say it? Pedicure?
Pedicure, yeah.
No,
So
I could do it. I don't
Erica,
get pedicures.
as the newbie here, has volunteered, quote unquote, to show us. So everyone take off your shoes and socks wherever you are so you can get a good look. So if you look at her feet and a bear's feet, we're both plantigrade. So we would be where you're planting your heel, rolling along the sole of your foot, and pushing off with your toes. So that's plantigrade. We share that with bears. Can anyone think of any other animal that is plantigrade? I'm sure you probably said skunks, raccoons, and opossums.
Whoa.
And I think rodents.
Oh.
And you guys may be thinking of more that I can't even think of.
Wonder if they're primates.
I'll check it out later. I don't know. And okay, so that's plantigrade. So the other form is digitigrade. So Erica's going to show what that is. That's basically where you're walking on your digits. So it would be on your toes and the ball of your feet. So that would be excellent. Doesn't she have great ballet?
The ballet school's paying off.
That's right.
Finally.
So that would be the cat family, dog family, and some birds, and people who wear high-heeled shoes, right?
Oh.
So that's on the toes and balls of your feet. And the last one I'll just mention, it's hard to pronounce, at least for me, ungulagrade. And that's basically if Erica was on point, like a ballet dancer.
Like actually on point.
If she had really long toenails and was on the very tip of her nail.
It's like when Michael Jackson does that thing.
So like if she had hoofs kind of thing?
Exactly. So
Okay.
it would be the hoofed animals, like we have the deer and cattle, sheep, goats, animals like that. And so it's protected with the hooves.
I see your comment, bud, by the way.
And anyway, so that is ungulagrade. And
Awesome.
The advantages of the unguligrade and the plantigrade, of the digigrade over us, the plantigrade is speed. So they have those lengthened bones of what we would call the hands and the feet up in the length of their leg. And so they have a longer leg versus what's on the ground, and so they're just a lot faster. They don't have this heavy foot at the base to swing around.
Interesting.
Now, what are the advantages though of plantigrade? We were talking about that earlier for us.
So plantigrade's a roll on your feet one, right?
Stabilization.
Right. So
Stabilization.
Fight and turn and fight and kick.
Oh, dang. She's done that before.
Wow, hidden talents, Erica. So that's the advantage of plantigrade, which we share with the bear. And so actually I have, let's show just, I'm not going to show this one, but show a little picture. You can see how they could even stand for short periods of time, just upright like that, like when they're checking out a dumpster or something like that.
Cool.
All right, well, let's go on. So what do they eat? What do these bears eat? You know, should we be terrified of them? Like the Ursa horribilis, the grizzly bear. Actually, they're pretty timid if they don't get habituated to people. And remember, they're plantigrade and they kind of lumber, so they're not great at chasing down something for prey. They're omnivores. So that means they eat both plants and animals, kind of whatever's in season in the locale where they are. So in the spring, they might go for those new shoots and leaves, the tender leaves and buds. And I even saw a picture of one eating dandelions. Yeah, sweet. And then in the summer, that would be insects. You know, they'll dig into that beehive. They do like honey. Hornets' nests, wasps, ants, and of course berries, right? When berries come into season, then in the fall, you're gonna get like apples in season and acorns and nuts and things like that. Of course, mixed in throughout there, if they can't find that, you get the small mammals like the rodents and rabbits and things like that, and of course fish, if they're near somewhere where they can get fish and salmon and like that. So let's look over here, because what you might see...
Oh, what you're definitely going to see.
What you're definitely going to see, if let's say it's berry season, is their scat. Remember, I say scat when I'm on, when the camera's off. So what do you see in there? Look at like here. So definitely some kind of fruit here.
I can smell it too.
What does it smell like, Griff?
Fermented plums.
The plums, wild plums. You could see some of their
Sorry about that, folks.
you can see some of the seeds in there. So let me show you as well some photos that I got off of Kim's website as well. So that's when the blackberry season, and then this is the apple season, and I've definitely seen that. We have areas here where early homesteaders planted a lot of apple trees, and when they are in season, like later in the late summer, early fall, you just see piles of just basically apple peels, which are the scat.
Cool color themes.
Yeah, isn't it? I thought that was a good good display there, very visual. Then of course, if they are eating insects and things like that, something drier, it will be basically tubular, kind of solid tubular, about 1.5 inches in diameter. So it's pretty obvious. So actually I plopped this, found this a little ways away, just that I'd put it out here. You know, a lot of people didn't grow up with horses, so it might be unfamiliar. So just in case you see a lot of this out in parks and natural areas, people taking their horses. So this is horse manure, I guess is what they call it. A lot of times you'll see the separate little chunks. You could see that they've been eating plant material for a horse. So definitely easy to tell between them. So the last thing I'm going to talk about, unfortunately, I had a great example of this, but it was in an area that had no service, is that you don't always look at the ground for signs, for tracks and scat, but for bears you look in the trees, because bears like to climb trees. They'll climb them to escape predators, I think everyone's sort of heard of mama bear shooing the babies at the tree, right? Or just to hang out or to get food. And even to hang out, they'll like pull branches in, which I learned that from Kim Cabrera, the bear tracker. They'll pull branches in and kind of make a little nest for themselves up in the trees. But a lot of these trees, they will use as marker trees in their big territory, and they'll rub against them, chew the bark, and their scent gets on it, and they'll use that to communicate with other bears, kind of marking their territory. So you might see, if you see scratch marks and like chew marks, that's a bear marking its territory. And then of course claw marks would be maybe the one I wanted to show you guys. There was a grapevine up at the top of the tree, and so a bear had shimmied up it last year to get the grapes. And so you can see the back claws are going sort of straight down, and then you can see where it reached its front paws around to kind of shimmy up, and the front claws were more at an angle, so you could really read the entire story of what the bear was doing last year when the grapes were ripe. And that's the fun of all these signs. When you get to know them and learn how to read them, everyone's a story that you could read. And even if you've done it many, many times before, even when we all become expert trackers, you've never seen this sign before. It's always a new story.
Interesting.
So unless Griff has something to say.
Well, there's a couple comments here.
Yeah?
One of them is, how come Erica is not touching the poop? So Erica, we might as well show them.
I'll touch the poop.
Okay.
Which poop should I touch?
Both. There was a couple different people that wanted to see them both.
Okay, there, I touched it.
Okay. I was just kidding. No one commented on that.
Oh my god! No.
So.
Okay,
No,
well,
I don't wash my hands.
well, aside from the amusement of seeing that, it gave me time to remember something I wanted to say. There's so much to say about bears that we've actually made it into 2 parts. So this is part 1, and next week we're going into part 2, which we have some really exciting things to share about living with bears and bear safety, and just a lot more things, neat things about bears.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
See who touches poop.